I want to share with you the 3 things I learned about my production rates in the last couple weeks. I'm Ron Ramsden. I'm a DYB coach, also painting contractor here in Massachusetts. What did I learn? I got thrown into the fire. Into the fire means I actually was on a job site. Most people know me as the painter who's outside the bucket, and I'm not actually physically painting. We had a homeowner who had a really bad experience with a contractor of a different trade years ago. And what she did ask me when I provided the estimate that would I be there. I kindly explained I would not be, but I would stop in on the job. And she offered to pay extra if I was there for a few hours every day. So she felt more comfortable. The first day I was there for a few hours, a little less and a little less. It was a 3-hour job. Worked out great. We all got paid. But I learned such invaluable information. I want to share it with you. Production rates. How do you determine a production rate? Well, a lot of times we'd have the guy, one of our painters, for example, we were changing in this house, all the stain woodwork in the house was going from stain to paint. So we're talking about the prep process, priming it, and then of course 2 coats of finish on top of that. So a lot of the times we'd say, okay, it's going to take a half hour for each window, and that's derived from past experiences, tracking and such. But a lot of things we don't come into consideration is when you have a painter who's tracking it either by timing himself on his phone or on the clock or his wristwatch or however he's timing himself, they kind of round down. So it might be 22 minutes. Well, that's going to be 20 minutes a window. Sanding and filling and things like that, they're not breaking them down as actual prep. We found out that they were actually rounding them off. Say just this whole window took me 35 minutes. This door took me 45 minutes. But we wanted to get to the nitty gritty and actually find out what each step was taking us. And then we could figure out if we could make that step go faster. And we did. Well, first of all, we use the buddy system. Our number one thing is who is measuring and how are they measuring. We use the buddy system, which that person times themselves, but someone else actually times it also, hopefully working in the same room. Because what we found is when they're actually painting, or we're going to use a window example, they're doing the steps of maybe prepping 4 windows, 5 windows, they're not always carrying that number over to something else, and that's what we want them to do. So when we're using the buddy system, it was really interesting that we were actually getting a differential of about 20% overall on timing. The person forgot that he had to run over to the shop we had set up and grab an extra tool, or maybe his phone rang, using the bathroom. All these are factors in it. So when we started using the buddy system, the other guy or other painter didn't really care how long it took him. His job was to actually time him while he was doing his own work. And this opened our eyes and actually had us change our production rates on certain things. So that's a great way and a great tip for it. And I actually was the buddy on some of the occasions. I was out there actually helping them out or actually typing some estimates on my laptop while I was there, being the babysitter, as the guys called me. But it was really eye-opening for that. What's missing? In our production rates, a lot of things gets missing, and these are the lost hours of the day that nothing is produced. Who is actually going to be responsible for that missing time? Well, we like our crew leaders to be there early on the job site to set up, especially if we're outside. But we're going inside, a lot of times we can't get in the house to a certain time. Homeowners running around trying to get ready, the kids have to get to school or such. And we just can't get there at 6:30 in the morning. So a lot of times we all are walking through the door at the same time. Everybody needs a set project to do. They need a responsibility. The apprentice or the newer guy should be doing certain things, while your more expensive, higher paid project manager / crew leader should be getting right to work. So what we found out is the setup was a missing link. We weren't allowing enough time, or in some cases any time, for setup. What I found out was I was allotting setup for the first time, but I wasn't allowing setup for every single day. And what that meant is the guys get into the job. They already know what they're doing at the job because it's day 2, and they actually have to get all their gear to where it's going, and which sometimes means replasticking off kitchen cabinets, making sure the couches are covered, and drop cloths are laid down in that. So what I did is I started allotting 15 minutes every day, and that might actually have to change and add additional time for that. So that was a missing link in us. Also, the cleanup process at the end of the day. We're a very clean crew. Some people call us, we're a little anal about it, which means we vacuum, we wipe things down, our drop cloths come up, especially if there's a homeowner there. We don't want to be in their way. If we're plasticking off kitchen cabinets, either we bring the plastic up and over the cabinets or we completely remove it. It's their house, they have to live in there. We don't want to be a hindrance to them. So what I did is start allowing 30 minutes of every day for 2 people to do the full cleanup. That's sweeping, moving things, and the other guys will stay busy almost till it's time to leave. So that was number 3. And number 3 rather is operating procedures. Think and do. Are the guys thinking of what they have to do, the tools they need on the job? What I often found is people were walking around a bit. They were running out to the vehicles, running out to the truck to get that other thing. And what we want to do is teach them of what they're going to need for maybe an equipment list for that job, but not also a tool list for that job. And what we're trying to do is we're not trying to turn our production upside down. We're trying to save 15 minutes. We want to add 15 minutes of production a day. We're not shooting for the moon here. We're only looking for 15 minutes. And I want to show you why in my next example, why we want to save 15 minutes. Now, I was on a job. The job I was on was the stain to conversion to paint. So we had crew number 1 was on that. So we had four employees on that job, 8 hours a day. So my goal is to gain 15 more minutes of production from every employee, and I know we can do it, and I know we can do much better than that. But we're going to start small, and we're going to build from there. So if we save 15 minutes for each employee, so we can build that extra 15 minutes for every single day. So we have 4 employees, 15 minutes a day. We're going to save we're going to be able to do an hour's worth more of production. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, because I'm going to show you how it breaks down. And this might not work on everything, but it'll give you a great example of how much money this is. So if you're a billable $50 an hour, I know there's people out there billing $35, and I know there's, I talked to someone today in a mastermind group, he mentioned that he was billing $75 an hour. So what we have here is, we took around about $50 an hour. $50 an hour times 5 days, because we saved our hour right here. 4 guys times 15 minutes a day equals an hour. So $50 an hour times 5 days in a week is $250 a day, a week. $250 a week if we can get 15 more minutes of production out of each guy. And that will be a little more thoughtful of the prep, of having the right tools in the place to be more accurate when we're actually making our production rates. So 50, so we got that 50 weeks a year. We assume we have 2 weeks off. At $250 a week that we're saving, $12,500. So it might work, it might not work. But if I can shoot to save $12,500 by having each guy be a little more productive every day, I think it's a win-win. So anyways, $12,500 will buy half my boat this year. Look at it that way. So anyways, I'm Ron Ramsden. I'm a DYB coach. I hope this helped. I hope this just makes you think about production. Either you're on the job site, or you're not on the job site, and start seeing if you can save that extra 5 minutes. Or if you're bidding out to paint a door and you're assuming it's taking 35 minutes to paint the door, but it's actually taking 45, you're not winning by putting 35 minutes down there. Put 45 minutes, bill accordingly, and if you don't receive those jobs because your price is higher, You're not losing. You're losing when you're guessing that it's taking 35 minutes and it's really taking a lot more. Because if you're doing it for 35 minutes, you might as well walk into the job site, hand the homeowner a few $100s, and drive away and go get on a job that you can make some money on. Anyways, I'm Ron Ramsden. If you want to get in touch with me at Ron@DYB Coach, I'd love to talk to you. Facebook me, send me a message. We can chat via Facebook, chat via email, or we can exchange phone numbers. I'm more than happy to talk to you on the phone. If you want more information, you can always check out Join DYB Coach. I'm Ron Ramsden. I'm a DYB coach, also a painting contractor up here in Massachusetts, helping you save money and make more money in your painting business. Have a great one. Till next time.